Fundamentals of Chinese 1, Unit 5, asking about someone's family. Pronounce it. Pause this video and open your textbook to pages 51 and 52 and follow along. By now you should be becoming slowly familiar with pinyin, and you're able to read it without the help of this kind of guidance. Here we have jia, and it sounds just like ji and an ah. And remember, when we're saying this ji, it helps the smile to bring it up closer to the front. Ji, jia, jia. So let's try that 3 times together. Ji and ah, jia. Let's try it. Jia, jia, jia. Great. Here we have ji, and it sounds like G, like in Gee Whiz. And you have the smile going and the third tone. So it sounds like this. Ji, ji. And it's in the beginning, sometimes new learners don't get their third tones to go deep enough or pronounced enough. So practice that if you need to. Let's try this together 3 times. Ji, ji, ji. Good. Okay. You've seen this OU like in 里有 or 我有一个哥哥 or 我家有几口人. It's the same pronunciation, OU, except it has a K in front of it now. It's also the third tone, so it sounds like ko. I think of like a copay that you pay when you visit the doctor, or the food co-op, ko. So let's try that 3 times. Ko, ko, ko. Great. Okay, you've dealt with ge before, as in 大哥 for big brother, and also 一个妹妹 ge. So this e is like the in da with a g before it, so we come up with a ge. It's very short though. Ge, ge, ge. And you'll notice that the first ge is a first tone, and then the second one is the neutral. Ge, ge. Ge, ge. So let's try this 3 times. Ge, ge. Ge, ge. Ge, ge. Excellent. Okay, I think this is the first time we are seeing this pinyin here. The li part is nothing new. It sounds like li, and you're smiling a bit perhaps. Li. And the a sounds like a, like in father. A, li, a. And then we have an ng at the end. Liang, liang. It's nasally here. It sounds a bit nasal. Liang. And then we're throwing in the third tone element. So let's try that. Liang. Ready? 3 times. Liang. 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 Good. Alright, this we've seen before. It's little sister. Sounds like May. 4th tone here, neutral tone here. Let's try it 3 times. Mei mei. Mei mei. Mei mei. Great. Okay, you should remember by now that this E kind of sounds like the and and we have an H before. H, with a second tone. H, h, and it sounds kind of like the H is in the throat. If you speak to a Chinese person and you hear them pronounce this, you'll see they put this H right in the back of their throat. H, h. Let's try that 3 times. H. Now I'm exaggerating the that's really not the proper way to pronounce it, but I'm exaggerating it to help you. It should really sound like h. So let's try that 3 times. H, h, h. Excellent. Okay, so the da here is just like the A sounds just like the A in mama, da, and we've dealt with jie from the first unit. Smiling, jie. So we come up with da jie, da jie. And when you're saying this fourth tone, it helps to really put a pause in here. Without a pause, you might mess up this fourth tone. So repeat after me and pay close attention to how I pause. 大姐，大姐，大姐. Excellent. Okay, this ER in pinyin, when it appears on its own, like in the number 2, R, to me it sounds a lot like the AR in part, but deeper back in the throat, because this E is deeper back in the throat than this A in English. So what we come up with is a R, R, R. Again, this is fourth tone, so we're going to put a little pause in here between R and 姐. So let's try that 3 times. 二姐，二姐，二姐. Great. Okay, here we have 做, and you'll see it's the same as in the 国 with 中国, except with a Z. Remember, this was g, u, or, and so this is z, u, or. It sounds like 做, 做, 足, or, 足, or, 做. So let's try that 3 times. Fourth tone. 做, 做, 做. Excellent. Now don't confuse this 做 with the last 做. You'll see these characters are quite different. This 做 is to do, and this 做 has to do with work. They sound the same. They're both pinyin Z, U, O with the fourth tone, but they have different meanings. Here we have 工作. So 工 sounds like the ong in 中. You learned the word for China, 中国. So here we just have 工 with a G. 工. And then 做, just like we learned in the previous slide. 工作. So let's say 工作 3 times and pay attention to how I manage this word with the first tone and the fourth tone together. I found that in learning Chinese and learning to pronounce Chinese and pronounce the tones properly, that different tone combinations have a different sound to them. And when you practice words together and you're mixing and matching different tones, that the way they sound together isn't quite what you thought they'd sound like when you think about them separately. So pay close attention 3 times. 工作工作工作 Excellent. Okay, here's some fun for you. We have this, I guess these are called ellipses, again, which means that we're trying to say E with our lips rounded, and we come up with the French sounding U. U, U, just like that. We saw this before with the word for女孩子, the word for girl. Only now we have an L in front of it instead of an N. So you have an L sound, L, with the U. So what you come up with is Lu, Lu. And this is a tough one. It's even tough for me still. But what you can do is round your lips and then try and say the word Li. Li, L-E-E. So here's what happens when I do that. I'm going to round my lips and then say Li. Lu, Lu, Lu. And then we have the fourth tone. Lu, Lu, Lu shi, Lu shi. So let's try this one together. This should be some good fun. 律师律师律师 You might need some practice with this one. Good job. Okay, these you've seen before. Ying, wen. So let's just put them together 3 times. Ying wen. Ying wen. Ying wen. Great. Okay, you're very familiar with the OU in pinyin. It's like the yo and Leo. And now we're just putting a D in front of it. So it comes up with, we come up with do. And it sounds like the female deer, a doe. Do. Okay, that's how a Chinese would say it. Do. So let's try that 3 times. First tone. Do. 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 Excellent. Okay, this is nothing new for you. We've studied all these. Let's just put it together. We have 大学生. So let's try that 3 times. 大学生大学生大学生 Excellent. Let's try the word for university alone without the 生 on the end. So this we come up with 大学 4th tone and then a 2nd tone. Let's try it 3 times. 大学大学大学 Excellent. Okay, these you've all seen before. This is the word for doctor. E, smile a bit when you're saying E. E, sheng. E, sheng. These are both first tones. So let's try this. E, sheng. E, sheng. E, sheng. Remember, you're curling your tongue with the SH. Good job. Okay, lastly, we have bai ying ai. The bai is like bai. You're familiar with the yin, and this I at the end is like I. So we come up with bai ying ai. Bai ying ai. So let's try that. Bai ying ai. Bai ying ai. Bai ying ai. Very good. And that concludes this pronunciation video.